I gave it a try. Yeah, I gave it a try last night, and I texted Arian afterwards. It was fun, but it was like way too slippery.
He kept slipping off.
Yeah, like to the point where I couldn't finish because I was thinking about how slippery it was.
Welcome back to Macrodosing. It's Thursday. It's March 20th. You're probably watching college basketball right now. Maybe you're getting ready to watch college basketball. Maybe you've already watched some college basketball. Or maybe you just listened to Macrodosing, in which case we appreciate your time. Yeah, it's March 20th, and we got the whole squad. Arian, he is remote at a golf course getting ready to play a little tournament. We got Big T, Mad Dog McKenzie behind the glass. Where do you guys want to start today? Because I think we should start with the JFK stuff.
Seems like a good place.
We finally, our long national nightmare is over. We finally found who shot JFK. It's Lee Harvey Oswald, and he acted solo.
Yeah, it seems like I see these files come out, and the only thing I've really seen people circulating is this one page that you said has already been public.
Yeah.
And other than that, I saw one thing about
the part where that guy was saying it's like maybe CIA involvement. He's afraid for his life.
And then he got killed and they ruled it a suicide.
Yes, that has been public.
And then I saw one other thing about maybe Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby met at a nightclub several weeks before.
Yep.
Is that confirmed to be true?
I believe that part is true as well. I also think that there's a part that came out that revealed that we were spying on Egypt, who was an ally of ours back then. So we did not disclose that earlier. And then there was some stuff about the hotel that Oswald was staying in Mexico and the ways that we used to try to wiretap that. There was something with like a UV marking that we put on a phone, on a landline. I don't know how that helped our spycraft or whatever, but those were some of the sources and methods that had been redacted earlier that the CIA was like, we don't want that to be public because then they know that we were doing, this was our technology that we had then, or that we were spying on Egypt, who we technically weren't supposed to be spying on.
I would be shocked if there was a country we weren't spying on in the 60s.
Yes,
or any time.
You're not supposed to spy on your allies, but a lot of countries do. It just kind of sucks when it gets out because then the other country could be like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought we were boys. Be like, trust but verify. So yeah, not a whole lot came out. The funniest part to me was figuring out like the behind the scenes stuff of how they were able to get all this shit out in a short amount of time, because apparently Donald Trump said on Monday that we're on Tuesday that we're declassifying this stuff. No, he said on Monday we're declassifying this stuff on Tuesday, and the people that work in intelligence and the archives had no idea that they had a 24-hour window until he said that. And then they're like, fuck, we have to figure out a way to get 80,000 documents ready to go by tomorrow.
Well, haven't they had years to do that? Like, they should have been prepared, it seems,
this team
at some level.
This team was working on it since January, specifically.
Okay.
So they had been working on it, and then they got hit with a 24-hour deadline on Monday. And they're like, fuck, we have to figure out a way to get this stuff out. But yeah, so really not a whole lot that we didn't already know. There's still a lot of redacted stuff, too.
There was that thing about how Oswald, because like initially they thought, okay, because we were enemies with Russia, maybe Oswald had some links to Russia. There were some like meetings and stuff with some Russian assets, but it was mostly like about getting his like visitation stuff circulated, and so that was a big nothing burger as well. And I forget what it was something about the Bay of Pigs and how JFK was kind of like internally pissed off at the CIA for bad info. But again, nothing. The truth is usually boring as fuck. So it was really, I didn't see nothing. I don't think anybody else seen nothing. Acted alone, huh?
I mean, to be fair, we have not read 80,000 documents.
I'm not reading that shit.
The funniest was just seeing everybody post online yesterday, like, can somebody else do this for me?
I'm happy for you or sorry that happened, but I'm not reading
I
all
don't have
that.
time to read all this. Yeah, Brett Favre said, I don't have enough life to go through 70,000 plus JFK files. Anyone know what really happened? And that was a prevailing sentiment where it's like, I don't care to do the work. Somebody summarize this for me immediately. Then there were a lot of people that were running it through ChatGPT or through Grok. If you do that, you're probably going to get some fucked up responses because it's a piece of software that is a search engine that's just way, way, way faster than previous search engines. And unless you know how to read the results and unless you give it a little bit of time, you're not going to get great information on that. But there's also been, I guess what I would say is just wait for a couple weeks so that people do actually have the time to read every single document in there. Because as it stands right now, like it came out, nobody has had the opportunity to read every single thing. So there might be some other stuff, some interesting stuff they uncover. But yeah, for the most part, it seems like it's stuff that we already know.
That's a shame.
It is a shame.
What was the expectations? What did y'all think?
I never thought there would be like we think there's just these documents the government have that said the CIA killed JFK and they're just going to put those out. Like there might be some interesting information about like if Jack Ruby and Oswald met before that, like that's something. But in terms of like real tangible, this is what happened, I don't think that exists anywhere.
They've told themselves before.
Yeah, I don't think there's not going to be a document that says we did it for sure. But there might be some. I thought that what was going to happen would be there'd be all this stuff that got released, and then people find little excerpts that point in several different directions, and so it just gives kind of more meat on the bone for people to go in whatever direction they previously already thought was the issue. I still think that the CIA was involved in it to a certain extent. Also, the big takeaway is just a lot more people than I expected they're blaming the Jews. That's been a prevailing sentiment. I thought that when this got released, everybody'd be like, "Oh, look at this guy. This guy was connected to that person. They met back then. They spent time in Cuba together, and then that guy's wife was married to Lee Harvey Oswald's cousin." Like that I thought that there'd be a whole lot more like pulling at all these random threads. Turns out just a lot of people are like, "Yep, the Jews did it," which there is no evidence to indicate that Jewish people obviously were behind any big conspiracy. There probably were intelligence agents from, like we said, you spy on your allies. It wouldn't shock me to know that Israel, the country, not talking about Jewish people, but Israel, the country, had some sort of connection with the CIA back then that you might be able to link to, like through a couple different levels to the assassination. But I think it was the CIA, Cuba, and that guy, what's his name? James Files, the guy from Illinois. I just hook, line, and sinker. I believed him in his interviews that he gave. So I think it's probably him.
Oh, that's your guy.
That's
from
my guy.
Prison.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people say like, not him. He was convincing enough for me.
Is there any updates on him? I know you high on him.
No, I'm trying to find him. I think he's still alive. I'm trying to find him, get him on the program. All right.
Speaking
So
of Jews,
yeah. Oh, here we go. That's a great segue.
Kanye went on a wild rant yesterday. I don't
Mhm.
follow him anymore, but I think I don't. But he was wild yesterday. So his latest stint was, he's making Nazi shirts, swastika shirts. And then yesterday and a swastika diamond chain too. But yesterday he went after something that it's like, come on, cuz. He said Beyonce and Jay-Z's kid is retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally said that. And I'm just like, what is the goal here, dog? And he said, fuck everybody. Like I don't understand. And maybe his brain is not to be understood, but here's the biggest problem I have with it. He released a snippet of Bully, which is his next album, with a It's like a little visual
Mm-hmm.
of a kid fighting a bunch of wrestlers. Fuck, it's good, dog. It's so sorry.
Is it?
It's good. It's good music. I listened to like probably 20 minutes of it, and it's like it gives you that old Kanye feel sonically, like the way he produced it. It is phenomenal music. It really is, dog. And one of the songs is really dope, like even lyrical content wise. That's just heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. I do believe you can separate the art from the artist. He is a piece of shit human at the moment, but his music is still amazing. He's just an amazing artist. He really is, and it sucks.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of his recent tweets here. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that you have to click on to be able to read. Visibility limited.
Yeah.
This post may violate X's rules against hateful conduct. Get off my page if you don't love Nazis, is what he says. I also think it's completely appropriate to say, like, yeah, it's a Nazi shirt, it's a Nazi chain. It's a swastika.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And obviously
he's now claiming he's a Nazi.
Yeah,
like, it's not even.
It's not like he's saying it's the Hindu symbol for peace. He's saying, yeah, this swastika represents me being a Nazi.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It's wild. It's like a public meltdown like I've never seen before. And that's how desensitized we are to nonsense as human beings. Nobody really even cares. And it's just like, it's Kanye.
Because he's gone so far. Like,
yeah, he's gone very far.
It's like, what else can this guy say? What could he possibly say that would shock you?
That's the end of the spectrum. When you start saying I love Adolf Hitler, like this is what else? There's nothing else you can say. You're batshit crazy.
And then he went on that rant about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. Just a bad guy.
Yeah, you can't take that back either. That's crossing to me a threshold, like because like I think like the Nazi stuff is, I think it's him trying to get attention in a stupid ass way, right? He's trying to he's like a little child just begging for attention. This one is like, yo, that's a personal relationship that was public, and then now you're talking about somebody's child. Which I know somebody's going to hear that and be like, what's worse than the Nazis? No, like I said, he's crazy. But I think that to me tells me it's not just about attention. It's crossing, like, he's dangerously mentally unstable, like dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it sucks. But hey, yo, he put out some fire ass music in that little link. I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry. I apologize for liking it.
I'm gonna trust you.
I don't like that. I like it.
You can't help yourself.
I don't like that. I like it. I don't like that. I like it. I want to not like anything he produces for the rest of his life. Fuck this dude. But when I hear it, it feels good. Like,
that must mean it's like, really good if you're trying to not like it and you still do.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I listened to it. I was like, fuck me. Are you joking? How can you be this dumb and this good? How? It's like interfering wavelengths. I don't get it, dog. But what do you want him to do? Like, what do you want me to do? I like it.
It's like he's only able to communicate as a warm, loving human being when he's currently making a song.
That's why I don't think we're supposed to know everybody's inner thoughts. Like, if you said everything you thought, this is probably if there's one positive to take from it, he's unapologetically himself, like through and through. Don't agree with it. Think it's horrible, think it's harmful. And I think that it's okay that we don't know everybody's inner thoughts.
Do you think he's suppressing his inner thoughts, which are, man, Nazis are trash. I hate Nazis. And he's like, intrusive thought.
Maybe, dog. I don't really believe this shit.
Yeah.
One can only hope. But I think this is it's a byproduct of living in a society where everything and everybody is so accessible. I don't think this is so unnatural for human beings. I think we're not supposed to be this accessible.
Yeah, it's maybe also a byproduct of fame and the extreme levels of fame. That, I mean, I'm not excusing what he's saying or anything like that. There's plenty of people that get famous that don't say or think anything like this. But the pressure that fame puts on you can break your brain down, and I feel like Kanye is probably that's part of the equation.
That, and I think he is on the spectrum of bipolar, and so that, if you ever know, I've known people that are bipolar, very close, and I've known somebody who was manic and then manic depressive. Like those, they're very different, but they're in the same of like the dramatic emotion in which they feel. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill everybody around me, and I've been around, dog. I am God. I've been around both of them, and like the universe is conspiring in my favor, and everything is perfect. I've been on both. I've seen both very up close and personal. It's sad,
Mm-hmm.
and I think when you don't take your medicines to regulate those chemicals in your brain, you it's it's like a self-feeding system. The universe is telling you what you're doing is okay. The world is telling you that everything you're doing is okay, and there's nothing to regulate it. It's just you're constantly riding either a high or a low.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't know, it's heartbreaking.
So, real quick, back to the Kennedy docs. There's one thing that I highlighted that I wanted to bring up today. This shows you just how many documents were put out yesterday. There is one researcher that estimated it would take 2 days to even open up all the documents that were contained. Do you believe that?
So if there's 80,000,
Yeah.
but it's not like each page is in a link. Like a link probably takes you to, let's say, 30 pages. No, not 2 days.
You don't think 2 days to open up all this stuff? That guy must just have a very slow internet connection.
Yeah, like if you figure that for 80,000 pages, let's say there's 10,000 links,
Yeah.
which I think would be a lot. You can open up one every 2 seconds.
Maybe, yeah.
So that's 20,000 seconds. How long is 20,000 seconds?
20,000 seconds. What's 20,000 divided by 60?
There's 86,000 seconds in a day.
Okay. So yeah, less than 1 day.
8
Much
hours.
less than 1 day. All right. So my stance remains the same, which is I'm gonna wait for like 2 weeks before I start listening to what's actually in there, because there might be something. There might be something on one page. Might be some stuff written in black light.
You think there are people like racing right now to find what's in them?
I think that the people that are actually going through them, that know what they're talking about, aren't racing. I think they're the type of people that would go and take their time.
But you want to be first.
You do. Maybe there's like a group of people where they're assigning different documents to different people. But yeah, anything that you see right now is probably based on one, AI summaries, or two, documents that were specifically highlighted that people have been given orders to circulate on a wide basis. Like, these are the important ones.
So I'm just like kind of surfing around. Like I'm on page 7 and clicking on, document, I don't know, 7 down the page. And some of them are like 1 pages, 2 pages, 4 pages. And so it does look like looks like every link is like a small, I mean, I'm sure there's more with 30, 40 pages, but they're very small links.
I'm going to play some JFK roulette. It's actually probably not the best term to use for it. I'm going to play the JFK lottery. And
Let's do it.
You want to just like click on one document and then randomly see what you can uncover from said document?
All right, let's do it.
Big T, do you do the same?
I'm going to go to...
We'll be experts on that one document.
All right, I'm going to go to page 100%. I went slide 189. Click in the middle of this. Okay. This is 6 pages. This is a lot. All right. Assassination Records Review Board final determination notification. Agency HSCA. Record number, staff roll, pay records, yada, yada. December 8th, 1995. Status of document. Postponed in part. Number of releases of previously postponed information. 4. Reason for Board of Action. The Review Board's decision was premised on several factors, including A, the significant historical interest in the document in question, the absence of evidence that released the information would cause harm to the United States or to any individual. Number of postponements, 2. Postponements. All the postponements in this document represent Social Security numbers. Reason for board action. The text is redacted because the public discourse of redaction could reasonably be expected to constitute an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. That is, invasion of privacy that would be substantial, that it outweighs the public interest. So I guess this is just Social Security numbers of people.
Okay.
JFK Station Action System, identification form. U.S. House of Representatives employee's name, Howard Louis Shapiro. Effective date, 12/31/78. It shows his Social Security number. Type of action, termination at close of business effective date. So this is, I guess, the firing of him?
They fired Shapiro.
I think so. I certify that this authorization is not in violation of USC 3110, prohibiting employment of relatives. January 2nd, 1979, Louis Stokes. And he's chairman. See, this is the trouble of doing this. What the fuck does any of this mean?
Yeah, this is why you have to have somebody that has some background in knowing shit about this. I opened up, what is this, page 19 of 29, and that is in document. It's on page 201, and it says marked secret at the top. Palmer, 8878. Solvat. Volume, CIOA. Manuel Solvat. C86065. No notes, no descendant, and then it's a full page of redacted files. That is page 0003615. Is how it's marked on the bottom right. What do you have, Big T?
I opened up a couple. One is just it says it's called an index search in 201 consolidation request. It's mostly just an empty page. This one, Melvin McNair from Greensboro, North Carolina, one of the hijackers of a Delta Airlines plane on July 30th, appeared the 2nd of October, 1972 to obtain U.S. passports for his 2 children. It's a bunch of, it's just nonsense.
That's pretty juicy, a hijacker.
Yeah, I guess. I don't even know what this is about. During
That's
conversations.
The thing. These things out of context is like, what
right.
the fuck?
Yeah.
All right, so I think we got to the bottom of those pages. Nothing. Wait 2 weeks. That's my advice. Wait 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Big T, what else we want to get into today? There's the astronauts returned.
Got the astronauts back.
And the dolphins greeted them.
Saw that. That's pretty cool.
Were they trying to fuck them or kill them? Because dolphins are super horny and super violent.
Can dolphins kill you?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
They can. Yeah, dolphins have a great marketing team.
Yeah.
Dolphins can be fucked up, yeah. I think for the most part, they're usually friendly to humans.
They don't fuck with humans.
They don't fuck with humans, but they're a violent species. So the dolphins saw the aircraft or the spacecraft land in the water and then just surrounded it, and they were like, "Welcome back." What do you think that means?
You think that's a good or bad omen?
I think it's good. Dolphins seem like, just based on vibes, I know that they're violent towards other sea creatures, but it's kind of cool, right?
Do you think there's a hole in the marketplace for a violent dolphin film? Because every time you see dolphins, they're smiling, they're happy. What if we do a killer dolphin?
Yes. I think there's definitely room in the marketplace for that.
Okay. One of those astronauts went to my high school.
Oh, yeah?
And UT, yeah.
How about that?
Butch Wilmore.
Butch?
Yeah.
His name's Butch?
Yeah.
Butch the astronaut?
I think it's Barry Wilmore, yeah.
But he goes by
Butch. He, when SEC Network came out, he was supposed to go to the International Space Station. He said, "I'm not going unless you put SEC Network up there."
I love that.
Yeah.
Did they get it?
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to get back. Like, football season's over. March Madness.
Yeah, were they up? They were up there the whole football season.
I wouldn't mind being stranded in a space station during March Madness.
Why is that?
If you got to pick one day to be up there,
you don't want to be down here for it.
If you can watch it up there, that's what I'm saying. If they had TV,
but you could just watch it on Earth instead of being stuck in space.
Yeah, but you don't got shit else to do up there. You're just like sitting down watching the games.
You can't drink up there though.
You can't drink in space?
I thought you couldn't drink in space.
Can we fact check that?
Astronauts. Like, I don't know civilians. No civilians been in space, but I think astronauts can't drink in space because it's like it's liability. I
Yeah,
could be
if
wrong on
something
that.
goes wrong, then they won't be able to fix it. It's like a
Mhm.
DUI under the most extreme circumstances.
That's like the ultimate. Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, there's no cops up there. What are they going to do?
can't run to a CVS real quick, you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
nobody's gonna stop you. It's just what if you faded and you forget the equation to the lunar modulator? You know what I mean?
So there is a general prohibition on alcohol, and it is generally disallowed in spaceflight, especially on the International Space Station, due to concerns about safety and the potential impact on the environmental control and life support system. And then it also says alcohol can impair judgment and reflexes, which could be dangerous in the event of an emergency. Past instances, some astronauts have been known to sneak alcohol into space in hollowed out
of
books or
course.
pouches. And during the
It's like
Mir
Shawshank Redemption, and they had the little hammer
Yeah.
in the Bible.
yeah.
during the Mir space station era, Russian cosmonauts were sometimes recommended to drink cognac, and American astronauts were known to participate in toasts or celebrations involving alcohol. Buzz Aldrin famously took communion on the moon, pouring wine into a chalice.
I would
mean,
drink.
Yeah.
So it's like generally a no-no.
Jesus. Yeah.
But-
I would just, if I was an astronaut and I had a couple of astronaut homies up there, it's like, yo, we gotta take turns. I'm getting faded today.
Yeah,
And I'll cover all the technical shit. You get tomorrow.
yeah. Imagine if you're stuck up there too.
Yeah, you gotta have something.
Where would you rank space on places to get drunk?
Number one.
One?
Dude, being zero gravity?
But-
Uno.
Yeah, I mean, it would be unique for sure.
There's no other. You're off Earth. Like, to get faded outside of the place where alcohol is made is so fucking fire, though. That's amazing.
Where do you put baseball game? That's got to be up there.
That's top 5. Yeah, it's top 5. I'll probably put it at 3.
What's 2?
Yeah, I'll probably put it anywhere.
Just anywhere that's
Yeah.
the whole list is anywhere.
No, but you were talking about specifically. First, space. Second, anywhere. Third, baseball. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that getting drunk in space would be awesome.
Should be fire.
It'd be
though.
great. You might get the spins.
Wedding. Weddings are great places to get faded.
Yeah. Movie theater.
Because like nobody really cares like that at weddings. Like nobody cares. But like when you get drunk, you're like super happy for them, you know?
Yeah. And you're also around other drunk people, which is important.
Very important to being drunk. Yeah.
Yeah. A comedy show, but you don't want to be too drunk because then you might
Heckling.
Yeah, you might heckle or you might be too loud. Concert.
I think it helps, but I'm like antisocial in that sense. I hate concerts. I hate being around big spaces with a lot of people, which is why I like drinking at a baseball game. It kind of that goes away. I don't get as like agitated.
Well,
So,
people aren't
yeah, I
going
guess
nuts for the most part at a baseball game. Like, there's a lot of people, but they're sitting down and just kind of chilling. Like concert, everybody's
relatively calm.
going nuts.
Yeah, that gets weird. It gets weird really fast.
I would say just the city of New Orleans.
That's kind of their whole deal.
Great place to be drunk. Probably
Yeah.
probably number 1.
Oh, a boat.
Yeah.
A boat, bro. And I say that as a non-ocean goer.
Yeah.
It's fire.
Well, as long as you're on a craft, you're fine. You just don't get in.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm not getting in no fucking ocean. Hell no.
All right, what else
People
we
that
got?
shark dive. The fuck?
What else we got to get into today, Big T?
That's all that was on the sheet. You have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Anything else to jump into here? Looking through the news right now, it's a lot of man. It is a tough time to read the news. It is, just like everything makes you feel bad. Thank God we have March Madness coming up this weekend.
I have one.
Go for it.
Mackenzie found love.
Yes, Mackenzie, good call.
Right.
So Mackenzie, tell me about the process, how it played out, and what you think about this guy.
So I went. They all had to hit a drive in the golf simulator, and whoever hit the whoever hit it the farthest got the longest time. So I think it was like 2 minutes, 4, 6, and 8. So they did it based off of that. So the first guy had 2 minutes, second guy had 4 minutes, and so on. And so I talked to them like on the date, and Mincy was the sommelier. So he was telling us what exactly was in the wine and trying to open the bottles, which was very funny. And it was also very funny because people were just like sitting in the gambling cave, which was where our date was. Like Madeline and Big T were just in there. So they could just hear me on the date, like saying the same things over and over again to these men. So that was very funny. And then Jerry ranked them by smell. He sniffed like all of them. And so did I, but I just kind of went along with what Jerry was saying.
Like really sniffed.
He really got in there. Like he assaulted them. And then they all did the gauntlet, and then they did a limbo contest at the end.
Yeah.
And Big T and I got to
and they did
talk.
Big T and Madeline kind of interviewed them in a sense, and so did Nikki, Smokes, and Annika. So we got some questions from them.
Big T, what were your thoughts on these gentlemen, on these prospective suitors?
They were all fine for the most part. The one guy said, not the one that Mackenzie picked, but Madeline asked, like, do you feel like you're ready to, I forget the exact phrasing of the question.
How, as a DJ, he was a DJ.
Okay.
I said, how would you provide for my girl, Mackenzie?
Right. And he said, like, I think I'm totally ready, to provide for her spiritually, emotionally, physically. I said, oh, you need to go talk to Nikki Smokes. That I'm not.
Find God.
Yeah.
But they were all really nice and like really good sports about it. Like it obviously takes a lot to kind of do that when you're not used to it. So I appreciate them all kind of doing that. But it was fun.
And how do we feel
about the winner?
Yeah.
The winner, his name is Parker. He was the original.
Of course.
What does that mean?
Yeah, it sounds like,
Of
Parker
course
gonna
it
do
is.
some shit like that.
What does a Parker in your mind look like? Like describe him.
He's got Sperry's on. He has like a tucked in fleece, and he has a comb over.
And
over.
a golden retriever too.
Yeah.
Or like a part.
Or a
He
doodle.
got a part, and you know what I'm saying? It goes like this.
I would say that's not too far
No.
Parker, man.
from what he had.
Parker Limbo.
Parker Limbo.
Tall guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tall, burly looking man
Yeah. Looks like he could chop down a tree.
for sure. But no, yeah, they were all really nice. Like honestly, it was hard to pick. Like I would have been fine with any of them. I thought that Parker and I.
Parker don't want to hear that, man.
No.
We wanna
Well,
hear about Parker.
no.
My
Not in a bad way, but we just had like the most comfortable conversation, I felt like, because it was hard to tell. I didn't really talk to them for that long. And then I was just judging them based off of their like athletic ability and limbo skills. So it was, but I just felt like it was like the easiest conversation, most comfortable that was had with him.
I did have one small problem with Parker.
Okay.
Arian, if I said to you, you're a 25 to 30-year-old male, you're taking a 3-point shot from the high school 3-point line. You should be able to make one in how many attempts max?
2 or 3.
See, I think but I think 10,
Are you
like,
talking about me?
no, just any, like, to be able to reasonably.
No. I like 15. I'll give him 15.
I
You
said
talking about
10.
Parker
Like, if
here.
you can't make 1 out of 10, I think like you should be able to shoot a basketball relative. I don't know.
If she's dating a Jamal, I'm gonna cut that down to 10.
Okay.
You gotta cut that down.
But
Parker.
15's an acceptable answer. I don't know what the number was, but
It took like 5 minutes, I think.
It was-
It might have been 3
It was
minutes.
it was a
tough.
long
It was hard to
time.
watch.
Long time. But his shot didn't
His
look
shot was
bad.
fine. That's why I was so confused.
It just didn't go.
Most of them were
get
hitting
close.
the rim,
Well,
but
if you got the stroke, that could just be nerves. If he got the stroke,
But I mean,
Could've just been nerves.
it was 40 or 50 shots.
It
I
was
mean,
a lot.
it's like wow. I mean, it's like loving basketball. You know, you playing for somebody's heart. That ups the ante a little bit. You feel me?
right.
It was
I
a lot of
guess.
pressure on a man who does
Yeah.
like
I mean,
sales.
none of them got it. quickly. Like the basketball really messed a lot of them up. They all did well, like at the beginning though of the gauntlet.
I feel like nerves has something to do with it. Jeff D. Lowe took what, like 100 shots?
Oh,
I think his was like 9 minutes or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of them are that bad.
No.
I think like an average able-bodied young man, regardless of their basketball career, should be able to make it in at least 20,
Yeah, I'd say so.
right?
I think that's a lot, but yeah.
Well, I'm
Regardless
factoring
of their
nerves.
basketball, yeah.
Yeah.
Stephen Che was
Big T
like,
kind of judge on a harsh little scale.
I think
Just 'cause
1 out of 10. I
Well,
think 1 out of 10
you also-
is perfectly reasonable.
You also
I'm gonna
work
give
in
you
an
college
office
because
that
you got
has a
stroke.
basketball court. So you get to
But
casually shoot.
Right, but I'm just saying if you should be able to swing a golf club relatively like I'm not good at golf, but if I go play golf with somebody, I could look like I can reasonably swing a golf club. You should be able to shoot a basketball with a scintilla
So you're
of
saying your athletic ability is somewhat correlated with your ability to protect the woman.
No, I'm just saying in a lot of situations, like if you're a business guy and somebody invites you to play golf, like you should be able to swing a golf club. I think you should be able to shoot a basketball like 1 out of 10 times.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out the practicality behind it, you know?
I think it's just something you should be able to
I think
do.
it's just opinion.
I think the golf thing, there is practicality to it. Basketball, I think it's just something you should be able to not embarrass yourself doing.
I can understand it. Just like on a basic human
yeah.
evolutionary feel.
Yeah.
If he can't curate a 3-pointer, his own shot, he probably can't protect me on a 1v1 fight.
1 out of 10. I'm not asking you to go out there and Steph Curry it. 1 out of 10.
I think it's also maybe a sliding scale where if you look like you're athletic, if you can't make a shot
That's
and your
even
shot's
worse.
ugly, that's bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if like you don't present as an athlete, which is fine, there's a lot of good-looking people who don't necessarily present as athletes. If they have like if they struggle and they go 1 for 20, it's like, okay, that's kind of what I thought. I mean, look at the guy. Is that fair?
I think so.
All right, so
I like this guy for the record
Yeah.
from what I saw.
He has a really nice apartment.
How have the conversations been post challenges?
It was good. Kate gave me his number and we've been chatting, but it was literally just yesterday, so it's been very
Got you.
brief.
So, slow playing it. Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
So we'll probably
I got
plan
you.
something outside of the office.
Yeah, he got to take you out on a date, and then I
Right.
got to meet him.
Right.
That's what has to happen.
Yeah.
So,
No, it has to.
all right.
But yeah, it was fun. And again, like they were all so nice. But yeah, it was fun. So we'll see.
Beautiful.
We found
Mac
love in
found
our
love.
place.
what was it about this guy that really made you zero in and say it's this guy?
I don't know. Like I really didn't talk to them for that long. So I think it was just like the comfortability of the conversation and like it was very easygoing.
Vibes.
It was just like a gut feeling, I guess.
Can't wait to play this at your wedding.
Mad Dog, you're scaring the bros.
No, she literally was asking questions. Like one of the guys didn't live here, like he lived in like upstate near Buffalo, and she was like, "So like, are you willing to like get on a plane and come here often? Like, what's that gonna look like if you guys start dating?" I was like, and then the time was up. I was like, "Oh my god, thank God!" I was like, "These poor men."
Those feel like normal questions.
No,
to
it
ask.
is, but it was just so
I want to
funny.
know.
I was
I want the best for my queen.
I was like, these guys are playing basketball and also getting ass.
Yeah. Parker has a very nice apartment in Chicago, and I said, "Can I come over with our friends?"
Now that was a question I wanted answered
because I want to see his apartment.
Yes, that was a good question.
He said yes. I said I like that answer.
Do we know what neighborhood that apartment's in?
We do. I will not.
We'll tell you off air.
Yeah. I will not dox him.
I
for
mean,
the sake.
the neighbor. I'm not asking for his address.
I'll ask. I'll
All
text
right,
you.
it's fine. Okay, yeah.
No, but Madeline and Big T did great. They got good vibes from the guys. It was a good test to see how they. And I will say, Nikki Smokes he ran the questions by me first, and I liked his questions. He did well.
I
That's
actually
good.
did like his questions.
Yeah.
That's good. So, what's the next step?
Madeline just opened a box for anyone not watching. No, probably just go on a date outside the office and then see what happens.
Where are we thinking?
I don't know. Jerry told me that if I needed a resi though, I
He's
could
got a
let him
guy.
know. Yeah. He
Yeah,
said
you
we
should go
gotta
somewhere nice.
like put this guy to work at like a nice restaurant or something.
Yeah, like Bavette's or something.
Have you guys texted yet?
Yeah.
How's he as a texter?
Good. That
Does he have an iPhone?
he has an iPhone. Yes. Thank
That's
God.
important.
I would have not. I would have ghosted if he didn't. No, texting is a real thing. Like there's certain people that just can't. They're weird texters.
Yeah.
But so far he's been normal.
What are your red flags and texters?
I don't know. I'm probably
Brevity.
I'm probably a red flag because I'm always like LOL, haha. Like I say that after everything.
But you also laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Like in real life. I genuinely believe she's the only person I think I believe if she types LOL or ha ha ha.
Yeah.
It's probably speech to text if it's ha ha ha.
Yeah, for sure. If it's all caps, ha ha ha, forget it. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I had to hit my homeboy. I had to have a conversation with him because we have this. It's our gamer chat, right? So like we play video games together, and he's like so short. And one time we was gaming, I was like, "Bro, what's up with your texting, dog?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I'll be like, yo, man, everybody trying to hop on a game." He'll be like, "Yeah," or
What would
"No."
you have him say?
Like, yeah,
Bad
dog,
example.
let's do it. The guy's like, dog, you gotta throw an emoji in there or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Make me feel like you excited to talk to me, dog. Like, we're living, we're live, we're breathing. Like, be happy, dog.
Now I could understand
Every-
if he says no, like be like, oh sorry, I'm out doing whatever. But if he just says yeah, then you get on and you're about to talk to him. So why does
but it just always feels like, dog, am I bothering you with my text? Am I bothering my inquisition of video game prowess? Like, is this bother you, dog? That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm a nuisance. And I hate that brevity. I feel like you got to have like some kind of personality via text. And ever since I said it, he's made a cognizant effort to do so. And I appreciate it. And the group chat feels more joyous. There's jokes now. He laughs. It's a good time.
That's why I always feel the need to add an LOL sometimes because I don't want people to think I'm being too serious.
Yeah.
So I'll always be like, oh, LOL.
Because it could come off a little like apathetic.
It's like a dad texting. Like you
Yeah.
could send your dad some heartfelt paragraph and he's like thumbs up emoji. But that means he really liked
Yeah.
that. But that's just his way of showing it.
Mad Dog
Thanks.
McKenzie, can we get one more camera set up or a different camera angle because we've got Jersey Jerry coming on the show.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
because he has an update. He has an update on Arian's advice
Interesting.
that he would like to share with the class.
Okay, yes, I can readjust the
we'll
cameras.
readjust.
And Arian sent me a screen. It was very funny because last night I get a text from Jersey Jerry with a screenshot of a text that he sent to Arian, and about 30 seconds later, I got a text from Arian of the screenshot that Jersey Jerry just sent to him.
Oh my god.
And it's quite an update. So I would like to have Jerry update our audience as well because they deserve to be involved in this. If you recall the last time he was on the show, Arian gave him a little piece of life advice regarding self-love and self-care, and apparently Jersey Jerry did his homework. Before we get Jersey Jerry in here, Big T, you just confiscated my bracket. You never touch another man's bracket.
Is that well? I wanted to check it out. That's yours.
That was out of bounds. You just touch another man's bracket.
I think
without
brackets
asking
are
him.
made to be shared.
You don't reach over and grab another man's
Well,
bracket.
I had to see. That's yours.
Yeah, what do you think about my bracket? This was done, I believe, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour after the brackets
How
came
many
out.
do you fill out?
How many brackets? I have one.
Okay, that's it?
I might update that bracket, but this was stream of consciousness. Don't overthink it. Make your picks.
I don't love your champ.
Michigan State.
Yeah, but the Final Four, the other. Oh, I don't love St. John's.
Okay.
We only have one of the same Final Four.
Okay. I mean, Florida is a very, very good team.
Yeah, St. John's is not beating Florida. And Michigan State is not beating Auburn and St. John's, even though
You don't think Michigan State beats Auburn?
Florida.
I don't know if you heard.
I think Auburn could lose somewhere before like Final Four, but I don't think it's to Michigan State.
I don't know if they lose before the Final Four, then Michigan State could be playing Iowa State,
Yeah,
and they could win that game.
we'll
I
see.
guess that would be.
I
to
don't
get to
think
the
Michigan
Elite Eight.
State's winning the title.
I don't know if you heard college basketball expert Jalen Rose last night after the play-in game.
I didn't. I was watching him on mute.
He was talking about how great Johnny Broom is and how Johnny Broom is one of his
Well, that's how you know he watches a lot
favorite
of ball.
players.
Yeah.
Johnny Broom, probably player of the year. Him or Flag?
It's going to be Cooper Flag.
So, but top two,
Yes.
Johnny Broom.
Yeah. Good player.
Johnny Broom. That's the college basketball expert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw.
He's played for, 5 years?
Yeah, he's been there a long time.
And then I think he called him Cole Brenner from Creighton.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. He's been at that school for
1,000 years.
1,000 years. You can't miss the guy.
Yeah.
College basketball expert.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people talking about him. I was playing video games, so I didn't have the sound on. But, yeah, that's interesting.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Jersey Jerry in here. Jerry, thank you for joining the program.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an update to provide to the audience? And I know that you texted Arian last night, but I think there's a lot of people that are interested here because Arian recommended that Jerry try using lubricant.
Yeah.
Which he had never done. He was a dry jacker. And Jerry gave it a whirl.
I gave it a try. Yeah, I gave it a try last night. And I texted Arian afterwards. It was fun, but it was like way too slippery.
He kept slipping off?
Yeah, like to the point where I couldn't finish. Because I was thinking about how slippery it was.
So did you wash your hands and then finish, or were you just like, it's not happening?
No, I had to get it off. Yeah, I washed my hands afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's just I didn't like it that much.
How much did you use?
Dude, what you said, like a palm worth.
Not a whole like a little circle inside you, the whole palm?
Yeah, like where it filled up like around my palm.
That doesn't sound unreasonable. It sounds like a lot, but not unreasonable.
I don't want to get too involved. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that that doesn't feel better than just your hands. Like wild to me.
Yeah, no, well, I also did it with my left too, which was different.
Why?
Well, because I don't know. I didn't want to like. I don't know. Like when I do it regularly,
I feel like I was cheating on yourself.
Well, when I do it regularly, I just hold the phone like this,
Uh-huh.
and then I do it like this.
Okay.
But like I put the baby oil in my left hand, I noticed, and then use my right hand to hold the phone, and then.
Oh, okay. I see.
It was just easier with my left because it was like easier to hold, like easier, like you know what I mean.
You thought was it easier to squeeze the bottle of baby oil with your right?
Probably.
Into
That's probably
left?
why I did it, like because I squeezed it with my right.
Yeah.
That's honestly probably why I did it.
And I mean, the fact that you went lefty, that you went switch hitter
Yeah.
on it, do you think that had something to do with the fact that it wasn't as good?
I mean, I didn't take it like I didn't do it fast. I was doing it like slow.
Like intimate.
Yeah, like it was like slow and like soft. No, I was erect, but I'm not saying soft like that. But when I did it with the lotion, I felt more like I was like, whereas the right, it's like, you know.
So did you quit? You just stopped? You're like, it's not happening.
It was like 5. I mean, I usually can finish in like anywhere like between like 3 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, this one I gave it like maybe like 5 to 7. I was like, yeah, no. And you know what's the craziest part? I didn't even go back. I just blue balled myself.
So that's what I was asking earlier. So you decided
wild.
I've had enough.
Yeah,
You cleaned yourself up, and then you went about your day.
Well, then my plan was I played video games afterwards, and then my plan was, okay, I'll just go upstairs. You know, the girlfriend, she's probably watching The Office or something. I'll finish upstairs, and she was asleep, so that was it.
Oh, so you couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you've been walking around with a
And it went away. Yeah.
bullet in the chamber. For a
Yeah,
while.
I'm ready to go when I get home tonight. But yeah, I mean, I could see your point though, Arian. Like it's easier for sure. I agree with that. It was just too wet.
I think two things happened. I think you used too much, and I think the technique with your left is probably not preferable to your right.
No, you know what? I will definitely give it another try with my right and see how I feel about that. But it's different for sure. It's a big difference.
I know.
Was the text too much?
No. I
You-
thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, you told me to keep you updated. I was like, fuck it, might as well.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said you told me to.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciated the text, brother. I appreciated it.
I got the same screenshot of the same text from you and Arian within like 30 seconds of each other yesterday.
So good, so good.
All right, well that's jack off reviews.
Yeah.
How many balls do you give it? I guess no nut.
5 would be the highest, right?
5
ball.
would, yeah, 5.
Yeah, it'd be one ball.
One ball.
One ball.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. Maybe practice makes perfect.
Yeah, we'll try it again.
All right. Thank you, Jerry.
You got it, guys.
Appreciate
Have
it.
a good rest of the show.
All right. Still crazy to me that was the first time.
I can't. I people that just I don't understand it. I just don't get it. Like that's like a dire. I got nothing.
You're on a
And it
desert
just has to
island
happen.
somewhere.
Yeah, it has to happen right now. And I haven't been in that situation as an adult, so I don't know, man.
If I was on a desert island, I would just go hunting for like a coconut tree and like crack it open and be like, okay, maybe there's something slippery inside here. It would have to be.
Something. Yeah, actually, coconut fuck around.
It would have to be bad for me
Yeah.
to just. All right, we're just going with what God gave you.
And then raw dogged himself. That's crazy.
All right, that's it for all the news and updates. Do we have anything else? Anything on the top of your head? Mad Dog, anything you want to get into?
No, I think I'm good.
It sounded like you thought about something.
Well, I was talking to Big T before about Severance because I'm catching up. I think I'm too dumb for this show, but that's another story.
It is a very confusing show. I will
think-
get, especially season 1 before you know what the fuck is going on.
Look, I'm halfway through season 2, and I
Missed a pretty big, like a pretty, I would say pretty obvious point.
So,
But that's okay because we're working through it.
yeah. We're
Mad
gonna
Dog,
go back.
from someone who's self-professed too dumb to understand this show, what do you think is going to happen?
Literally no clue.
I think I have no clue
Yeah.
what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
I have
I've not watched it, but does that not? I love watching shit where I can't guess what's gonna happen next.
I think it might be the most popular, successful, confusing show of all time. If you take into account how puzzling it is and how much they keep the viewer in the dark. I mean, Lost was one of the most successful shows of all time, and there was still a bunch of stuff that people didn't understand. But Severance, like everything about it is confusing.
and everything means something, and then it's there's so there's 7 things that mean something below the surface, and then I got to figure out what it is, and I'm just watching it alone, and I have no one to discuss it with, so then I got to come in and ask Big T what I missed in the TV show that I just watched.
I think it's one of the most intentional shows ever. Maybe
Yeah.
the most, I see, I think I watch it pretty intently, focusing on what's going on. And then I'll watch a YouTube recap and they're like, did you notice this thing in the background that was a callback to what's on the TV in season 1? And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss out on all the little Easter eggs that they
eggs.
put in there.
Yeah.
There's one storyline, and this isn't giving away too much of the plot, but there's one employee who he's married at home, has kids at home, but when he goes home, he's like a miserable husband. When he's in the office, he's like more of a happy guy, and then they start to allow his wife to pay him visits at the office.
I just got to that part.
And then they kind of fall in love she falls in love with his work personality because it's, I guess, similar to what she first fell in love with about him. And then when she goes home, she doesn't tell that same guy at home that she's kissing and cheating on him
with
his work personality. I'm watching this and I'm thinking I don't really see the problem with that. It's the same guy.
Really?
You have a problem? It's the same person.
It isn't, though.
It is.
They have no knowledge, recollection of one another. They're completely different personalities.
It's the same brain, though.
And it's the same person legally.
If your wife made out with you when you were blackout drunk and you didn't remember anything, would you wake up the next day and be like, yo, what the fuck?
That's not the same, though.
I think
that's a slippery conversation right there.
I think, yeah. I mean, you could expand that a little bit. It could
But
get
this
bad,
guy's completely different. That's why she likes him, because he's motivated and successful, and his outie is a shitty schmuck.
But it's the same guy. That motivated, successful person is inside that
They
brain
look
somewhere.
the same, but they're not.
It's in there somewhere.
So you think Helena and Helly are the same person?
No, I think that's different.
Why?
Yeah, wait, so why do you think that's different?
Because she goes into it from the outside with like a sinister idea, and Helly on the inside is very
But you can't
compassionate
say they're different people and not Dylan.
No, I think that they have competing motivating factors. I think that Dylan, I would not be mad if it's like a wife that kisses your work severance person, your innie. If you're the outie, it's like, okay, it's me. It's just me in a different place.
I don't know.
It's so it breaks my brain. And they're all so creepy.
Now here's the problem is comes out tonight as people are listening to this on Thursday. Obviously can't watch it on Thursday night.
Yeah.
But can't watch it Friday either. But if you wait till like Saturday morning, I mean, you're going to be rife with spoilers.
Maybe,
Aren't
but
there
nobody
games
else
Saturday?
is watching it. Yeah, there's games Saturday, but they start, I want to say, at 1.
Yeah, probably noon.
Yeah. You have a little bit of a window Friday morning.
I guess you do Friday morning.
If you wake up early to watch Severance.
Yeah.
And then, but you won't be able to talk about it with anybody because nobody else will have watched it.
That's fine. I just want to be able to watch it without having to see spoilers.
The only people you'll be able to have a conversation with are those freaks on Reddit that live on the show page.
Mm-hmm.
Though, if you really want to figure out what's going on, just read every episode recap on Reddit because those people are just...
I watch
They
YouTube
watch.
recaps after every episode.
That's my homework. I have to go watch YouTube recaps so I know what's going on.
Yeah, the Reddit people get balls deep into the analysis and theories.
I love this shit though, but it's just I think it's going over my head. But it's so good.
Well, you're in good company because I think it goes over everybody's head.
Yeah, but I actually have no idea where it's going at all. But I have 6 episodes left. So I still have some time.
Okay. And, well, there's another season, too.
No, she's
No,
on
I'm on
season
season
2.
2.
Yeah, but there's another season that comes after this.
Well, yeah,
Sure.
but then I'll be caught up.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people thought that it was going to end after 2 seasons.
Oh, no.
Oh.
It's
Are
not.
they only doing one more? Is that confirmed?
I don't know. But yeah, shut up, Ben Stiller. Great job.
They need to not Ted Lasso this.
In
This
what
needs
way?
to go too long.
Yeah, that would be a good Mount Rushmore to do. Mount Rushmore of shows that were great that just went too long. That got Ted
okay.
Lasso. Ted Lasso definitely up there.
The Office,
I
they
was gonna
tied
say.
well at the end, but it went a little too long.
Yep.
Did Game of Thrones go too long?
It might have gone too long, yeah.
Nah, y'all have been complaining about the ending there.
Yeah. I feel like they weren't wrapped up. They had stuff that they had to wrap up, and people were just pissed off with the execution.
Yeah. I don't think it went too long.
I
It
feel
was
like
just-
they rushed the last season, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could make the argument The Simpsons would be the king of that.
But I mean, people still enjoy The Simpsons.
They do. But the first, 8 seasons were...
Are they still coming out with new episodes of The
Yeah.
Simpsons?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first 8 seasons were gold. And then after that, just kind of a long, steady decline. I haven't watched a new Simpsons in 10 years, 15 years, but it's still one of my favorite shows of all time.
What about, would you put SNL on that list?
No, because here's the thing with SNL.
I wouldn't, but
SNL, people love to hate on the new SNLs. And this has been going on since the 90s when it was good. In the 90s, people were like, this show sucks now. Remember when it used to be funny? And I don't really care for the new SNL myself that much. I don't find myself watching it or drawn to it. But people are like, the new SNL sucks. It used to be funny. Remember when they made funny jokes? That same conversation has been happening since probably the 1980s, if not the late 70s.
don't they always say your favorite SNL is the one that you went to high school
Yeah.
with?
Yeah. Between the age of 12 and 17, that's when your favorite SNL was.
Also, if a scripted show goes too long and the story drags on, there's not a ton you can do. SNL could get a good cast and be good again.
Yeah, they could do something different. What else would be on there? right now I'm experiencing that with Yellow Jackets. I really liked Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I heard that's going downhill.
Season 1 was great. Season 2, not as good. Season 3, I watched one episode and I said, not for me anymore. See ya, Yellow Jackets. Adios.
I did that with the show I was hyping up, Night Agent.
Season 2.
I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, I'm not watching this anymore.
Yeah. House of Cards.
Never watched it.
Season 1, really good. Everything after that, just don't bother. Don't bother with it.
I just know there's a big Braves fan in it.
There is, yeah. And Kevin Spacey brings back the character once in a while to freak people out. And he pretends that he's Frank Underwood.
Yeah, didn't he do a video as Frank Underwood recently or something?
Yeah, he's done a few of those,
Yeah.
where he's like responding to allegations of grooming and pedophilia and rape, and he's like, I'm Frank. Listen to me very clearly. I'm Frank Underwood. And you don't come after me, or else there'll be hell to pay. And it's like, okay, well, we're not talking about Frank. We're talking about you, Kevin. But he doesn't really get that. All right, you guys want to get into today's topic? Pizzagate revisited. It's bubbling up again. Our old friend's back. This episode is being brought to you by our good friends over at Pardon My Cheesesteak. Pardon My Cheesesteak is the best place to get a cheesesteak. It is delicious. It is fast. It is convenient. And it is everywhere. Pardon My Cheesesteak has thin sliced steak. It's got the cheese sauce mixed into the meat, which is my favorite. And it's also got the provolone on top. They also have a variety of cheesesteaks. You can get buffalo chicken cheesesteaks, Philly cheesesteaks, loaded fries, popular desserts, all delivered right to your door, so you don't have to miss any of the action on your couch. It is March. It's a perfect game day meal. It's also got those caramelized onions on there. It's all on a toasted hoagie roll. Check it out at pardonmycheesesteak.com and order with code PMC20. Get 20% off your order. Promo code PMC20. Get 20% off your order. Part of my cheesesteak. Okay, we're going to dive back into Pizzagate because it's back in the news, mostly because Elon has been posting about it, and also Rogan had that Carroll guy on his pod who brought it up a bunch. Aaron, you were saying that you would want to interview that, what's his name, Ian Ward Carroll?
Yeah.
What do you think about him?
I think he is the modern day conspiracy theorist, like the epitome of, which means he has a lot of beliefs that he bases on like the evidence that he finds. And like I don't think he's stupid. Like I think there are stupid people out there that peddle nonsense, but I think he pieces together stuff and it makes sense to him. And like I said, I don't know. I'm not aware of every single one of his claims, but some of the stuff, I look at it and I'm just like, how did you go from this to this to this to this, right? But I think he's just like chronically online and pieces a lot of different things together that don't necessarily track. But I think that's the internet today, and I think he's like the epitome of that. He has opinions that, in my opinion, some of them are far-fetched and there are a lot of reaches. But
he likes to connect a lot of dots. And I think
yeah.
he finds a lot of stuff online that fits whatever narrative he was going to go with, and then he pieces that together into a story that he was going to tell anyways. He just has to find different examples of like things that fit the narrative that he can pull in while completely ignoring anything else that doesn't agree with what he's saying. He's very good at packaging everything. So the videos, they're like easy to watch, easy to digest, and it makes it seem like, oh, holy shit, this is hiding in plain sight. But I also think that he does most of his research just by clicking on links online that anyone can do. So I don't think he's an expert in anything. I just think that he's clicked on a shitload of links, and he sees a lot of stuff that's like already publicly available, and he learns it for the first time. And then he's like, oh, fuck. Wow, this goes deeper than I could have ever thought.
Yeah. I think that's to me, he's like the danger of, for myself. I mean, like if I start to believe something, I have like certain guardrails as to how far I go before I'm like, okay, this is just what I think or what I feel, not necessarily this is how reality tracks. And I don't think that we would have the same I guess self-regulation.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like I said, that's the internet nowadays. If I have a belief, you could find evidence to back every single thing that you believe out there. There's no question. But um, like I said, it would be interesting to interview him and kind of like poke some holes or see how he got to some of the conclusions he got. Like I said, I don't have any ill will towards anybody really, but like with cats like that, I just think I think it's imperative to have like this is where I feel like I feel like Joe Rogan kind of has gone to the wayside. I don't feel like he challenges his guests. I think he's just like, hey, let's talk about some crazy shit. And to me comes dangerous when you have the biggest microphone on the planet. That's dangerous. But I feel like if you start to like interview or talk to real like scientists, most of them are really bad at communicating science or communicating their thoughts or their findings. And people that are really savvy can take advantage of that. And I think that's where he kind of dwells.
Rogan's been good in the past at like hearing crazy shit on his pod and like laughing and joking and playing into it. Being like, that's wild that you actually believe it. Now, the last few episodes that I've listened to, he's more like, you're making a lot of sense. Like he'll like back him up and be like, you're correct. You're right.
I remember
Adolf Hitler was born in Germany.
I remember him arguing or really like getting into it with Candace Owens because she didn't believe in climate change. And I've seen a few clips recently where he's kind of putting out the idea that maybe it's not as big of a deal as we're making it out to be. And like I remember he was like on her head, and rightfully so, because it is a big deal. But he's like recently kind of going off and like, well, I don't know, man, weather changes all the time kind of vibe.
My favorite is recurring guest of the Joe Rogan Experience, and also the guy that they brought in to educate Terrence Howard. What's it, Eric Weinstein? Oh
my God,
the professor. My favorite update with him is that he is thinking about maybe leaving the MAGA camp. He might be abandoning Trump, and you might ask yourself, well, why is that? And it's for the most hilarious reason ever. It's because he feels that he personally has not been given enough from Trump personally. So he's upset that nobody came to him from the Trump camp and asked him for his endorsement of Trump, or congratulated him on his endorsement, or said thank you very much for your endorsement of Trump. So he feels personally slighted that a bunch of other people gave their endorsement, and the Trump people thought highly enough of them to go and ask them for their endorsement, but nobody thought highly enough of Eric Weinstein and was like, I want your endorsement of our candidate. So he's upset that he hasn't gotten anything in return for his endorsement of this guy. So he might be abandoning the MAGA camp. We don't know yet, but that's like him in a nutshell.
That's wild if that's the case.
Is Eric Weinstein? He's pretty far left, is he not?
Weinstein? No, he's a MAGA guy.
He was the professor at the college in Portland, right?
So that started his right-wing trajectory. Was his claim. I looked at this a long time ago, but he was claiming that the students weren't allowed. It was some silly.
They were having they declared that one day on campus no white people were allowed.
Yeah, it was something
said,
silly like
that's
that.
ridiculous. I'm going to teach
But
my class.
that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. It's been a while since I looked at it, but his claim was not accurate. It was I don't want to misspeak, but I think it was just like a voluntary thing for white students, something like that. It was something silly, but that was his ascension into the right. That was his claim.
Wait, this might be the brother.
Yeah, he's got a brother, Brett.
I think the brother was the professor.
Yeah. The I think there's one is a physicist.
Oh yeah, Eric Weinstein. He is the physicist. He's from Harvard, and he's also
and the one is like a mathematician or something like that, right? I forget.
well, it's
been a minute,
mathematical
so-
physics. That's what Eric Weinstein studied.
Okay.
He was the one that was
There
on
you
the
go.
Terrence Howard show where he pulled out all the solids and things like that. But he's also he's upset that that the government is essentially firing college professors under the DEI stuff, and they're firing a lot of good college professors. He's like, I didn't want this. I just wanted all the stuff that I don't like about DEI to be banned.
That's the thing. I didn't know that leopards were gonna eat my face.
Yeah, but mostly to me, the funny part is that he thinks so highly of himself that he's like, I have been given nothing in return for my endorsement. Nobody came to me and asked me for my endorsement. I just gave it, and I feel like they don't care enough about me personally. He's like the biggest egomaniac on the planet.
I did watch the Rogan where he was talking to Terrence Howard. I just found it so funny how he was trying to placate to him, but also sun him.
Yeah.
Like, no, what you're saying is fucking stupid. But I love the way that you're questioning things. Bro, it's dumb. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Just say it's stupid. It's so funny, man.
So yeah, let's go back to Pizzagate real quick because we know before 2016 and in 2016 was like a big topic, and that it was a conspiracy that was started claiming that Comet Ping Pong in Washington D.C. was nefariously linked with sex trafficking and pedophilia, and among their frequent guests and funders were like the Clinton family, the Clinton campaign, things like that. It got to the point where there was a shooting inside the Comet Ping Pong, and this was Edgar Welch. And in 2016, he went into Comet Ping Pong. He had an AR-15, he had a revolver, and he went looking for a basement dungeon because he had been told online that there's a basement dungeon there where they keep the kids. He didn't find a basement, didn't find a dungeon, and he got to a door that he couldn't open, and so he shot the lock with the AR-15, but it was a computer closet. And then after he didn't find anything, he put his guns down, went outside, and he got arrested. So nobody got hurt in that one. He pled guilty to a federal count of interstate transportation of a firearm and assault with a dangerous weapon. In 2017, he got sentenced by Ketanji Brown Jackson, now on the Supreme Court, but at the time she was a district judge, to 4 years in prison. And he did an interview with New York Times when he was in jail. He said he just wanted to do some good. He went about it the wrong way. And so then the rest of the Pizzagate community turned on him, saying that he was a crisis actor that was involved in a false flag operation to hide the truth. And it kind of was a split. Some people supported him. They started a Facebook page, Edgar Welch Saved the Children. But others were like, yeah, this was a fake shooting that the Democrats set up to make people abandon the theory, to make people think that Pizzagate was a dangerous theory. So fast forward to, let's see. So this instance was in December 4th, 2016. That was the first one where he stormed in there. But he recently was killed in Kannapolis, North Carolina. Kannapolis, I don't know how you say that, in January 2025. The same guy, Welch. He was a passenger inside a Yukon, got pulled over on January 4th. They did a traffic stop, and they linked the vehicle to Welch, who was wanted on an outstanding warrant. They recognized Welch. They moved to arrest him. He brought a handgun out of his jacket, pointed at the cops. After refusing commands to drop the gun, 2 officers shot him, and he died on January 6th. So that man who was in prison since 2017 is he's now dead. So
He wasn't in for very long.
yeah, he got sentenced to 4 years, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, Ketanji Brown Jackson sentenced him to 4 years in prison for going into the pizza restaurant and shooting the door. You can make the argument that maybe could have been longer. If you shoot a gun intentionally inside of a restaurant, that feels like it should be more than 4 years, right?
Well, it's like the attempted murder thing. Like, why do you get a lesser sentence for trying to kill somebody and not doing it, as opposed to trying to kill somebody and succeeding?
Yeah, like he went there with the intention of firing the gun. Why else would you bring 2 guns?
Yeah.
If you have your everyday carry on you, you can make the argument. I think you could make the argument in court, like this is how I normally am. I went to the restaurant and I went looking for the sex dungeon to free the kids, and then things got out of hand, and I took my gun out and I shot a door. Probably still go to prison for a long time. But if you have 2 guns, that's like, okay, you were fucking Rambo today.
Yeah, the second gun is it's like the third pump on Key and Peele. You
Right.
seen that sketch?
Can't do it. Yes. Yeah. Can't do it. So, yeah, that guy, he was killed in January of this year. There was another incident too, and I'd forgotten about this one. January 2019. Ryan Jaselski's Ryan Jaselski's went into Comet Ping Pong and he lit the curtains on fire. Nobody got hurt, but he dumped a bunch of lighter fluid all over the curtains and set the place on fire. And there was a video that was posted to his parents' YouTube account. It was the night of the arson that alleged the world is run by a satanic global pedophile ring fronted by major celebrities and Hillary Clinton. He got sentenced to 4 years in prison as well. And he also attacked a park police officer at the Washington Monument weeks later. I don't know if that guy, how was that guy out of prison where he was attacking cops? I would say if you try to burn a restaurant down, maybe they hadn't figured out that it was him yet. Maybe he escaped. I don't know the details about that. But so we've had 2 instances. I would probably close the restaurant if I was them.
Yeah.
Probably close it down. Maybe try to file a lawsuit.
What about just renaming it?
Yeah, what would you call it?
I don't know. Just come up with a new name, and then nobody's gonna.
Not a pedophile ring pizza place.
I feel like that's
Definitely.
causing a lot more questions than
The only pizza restaurant in America that is certified to not be a pedophile ring.
at least outwardly. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So if you remember the original Pizzagate theory, it started on 4chan. You remember 4chan, Big T?
I've never been on it, if that's what you're asking. I've heard of it.
Well, the crazy thing to me about 4chan is that it's not very accessible. It's not like super easy if you're getting started on the internet. It's not easily digestible. Like there's a lot of social media platforms where if you don't know what you're doing, you sign up for it and then you see the post and you're like, oh, Shaq just tweeted out this commercial for printers. You're like, you can understand what's going on. But with 4chan, it always seemed to me like you have to know your way around that type of forum to really understand it. But there's a lot of newcomers to the internet that really dove headfirst into 4chan, were able to pick it up pretty quickly. So
it's like an early message board format.
Yeah.
And so it's very, to me, from my understanding of it, it's like the tip of the iceberg for the dark web. Like that's how you get into all the wild shit that is actually on the internet.
Yeah, there was 4chan, then there was 8chan, and I think they started 16chan. They have unlimited amounts of names if you shut one down. And keep doubling it. But it's some wild stuff.
Wasn't the owner of them thought to be Q?
Yeah.
What's that dude's name? I forget his name.
What's Ron? Was it Ron something?
It was Ron or Rob. I forget his name.
And his son.
Yeah.
And
but like I remember us looking into it and I was like,
yeah,
I think Q is this dude. Yeah.
There's a lot of very I don't know if I want to use the word successful. A lot of very prolific trolling that goes on the chans where they can just get people to believe whatever they want because it's funny. So the Pizzagate theory started on 4chan, and it was based on the Democratic Party emails.
Oh, for a little context, for people that aren't aware of 4chan and like the crazy shit that goes on there, like it gets wild. I watched this. It was a YouTube documentary about it. And there was this one story where this dude posted a picture of like, I think it was like somebody tied up. He's like, should I do it? And of course, everybody's like, yeah, do it. And sure enough, he did it. He killed somebody. And then the thread started posting out, like, they looked at his address, they looked at what it was, or whatever the case. I don't know how they found it, but they ended up actually killing somebody. And then the police linked like that thread to that murder. Like shit like that goes on over there. Wild shit. Another one was like, dude said, hey, you should mix this chemical with this chemical and somebody did it, and then they die. Shit like that, crazy shit.
It's like
Insane.
black pilled people that just are like nihilists that think anything's funny if you can encourage somebody to do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some weird shit on there, and that's where Pizzagate started. And they were looking at the Democratic emails that got put out by WikiLeaks. You remember that back in 2015, 2016, when they got into those files, those servers, and passed them out to everybody. They went through there. They saw that Comet Ping Pong was in the emails in relation to organizing a fundraiser. And the owner of Comet Ping Pong is a Democratic Party donor. I don't know how much money he's donated, but he is a donor. Comet Ping Pong's owner is James Alefantis. And they saw that he was working with the Democrats to organize a fundraiser. And so they started looking into the contents of those emails and then associating the word pizza, the word hot dogs with key phrases that they alleged pedophiles used. So this all sounds kind of crazy, and it is. But enough people believed it where it became a thing. And they talk about how Hillary Clinton is involved in this. The campaign manager, Podesta, is involved in this. And then they get all the names. They go through their social media. They find people that they're friends with, events that they've attended with other people, find things on those people's social media platforms, and then they create a giant web of how the elites are running a pedophile ring, and a lot of it is centered around this pizza restaurant. So one of the claims was that Carol brought up on the Rogan show was that Obama had $65,000 worth of hot dogs flown in from Chicago for a White House party. And he saw that because there was an email chain between some employees at a geopolitical intelligence company called Stratfor and the campaign. By the way, I know something about Stratfor just because they were based in Austin for a while, and I know people that work there. And what do they call themselves? Like independent intelligence. So they have people all around the world that they claim to have an intelligence network. So if you're the CEO of a semiconductor policy, you would enter into a contract with Stratfor, and they would give you intelligence briefings on what they think is going to happen to like international trade or rare earth metals that they find and how that relates to the semiconductor industry that you're in. So you can make decisions on your business based on what they're telling you. And you just kind of have to trust that they know what they're talking about.
Do they have people like in the government?
No, I don't think it's like government agents. I think they probably have a lot of former spies that rely on their former spy friends for intelligence. And they have people that live and work in different industries across the world. That's what they claim. So WikiLeaks claimed that Stratfor is a front for a secret agency that provides confidential intelligence services to large corporations and governments, including agencies like the Department of Homeland Security, the Marines, and the Defense Intelligence Agency. As far as I know, I don't know that I'd call them a secret agency. I think that's kind of what they do. They provide intelligence services to big corporations and the government, and they probably have some people that work in Homeland Security that have a contract with them because they're trying to get as much intel as they can. It is kind of weird that there's private intelligence industry, though, right?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that line of work.
So $65,000 worth of hot dogs. That's the claim. And in the email that they saw on WikiLeaks, it said, I think Obama spent about $65,000 of the taxpayers' money flying in pizza and dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House not long ago. Assume we're using the same channels. So flying in $65,000 worth of pizza and hot dogs, that's a lot of pizza. That's a lot of hot dogs. How many people do you think that's like a big wedding catering price, right? You would say about $65,000.
That's a lot of food.
A big wedding? That sounds like the biggest wedding of all time.
A big wedding.
What do you consider $65,000 worth of food? How many? What kind of weddings that sound like?
It depends on where it is, who's in attendance. Because if it's like a super nice catering company that caters to like the elite, then I could say that $65,000 wouldn't be a shocking price tag.
So how much is that wedding costing total?
Oh, that wedding would be
But if it's like high end, why are we
300
bringing
grand.
hot dogs?
Yeah, so this was not a wedding. This was a White House event, which I assume that if you cater something at the White House, it probably also costs a lot of money. Because if you're doing business
Yeah,
with the
they
White House,
probably
you have to have
upcharge it.
you have to have like security clearances. You have to be checked out. You have to run in those circles where you're like an approved vendor for the White House.
Oh, that, and I think if you secure a government contract, you probably spike your price a little bit.
Yes, and you also, I guess, probably important to note, if you are catering an event at the White House, you have to have like supply chain clearances, where you know that the food, every ingredient that you're using is safe, because it could be used to like poison the president or poison an international diplomat. It could be like a massive incident.
You know the number one supply chain management college in the United States?
Tennessee.
That's correct.
All right, love it.
Yeah.
Let's go Vols.
I don't really know like what that means, but I know we used to be number one at it.
There's a bunch of stuff out there that you don't really think about in terms of logistics, like how like a company that has to cater food for the White House, how in depth you have to get with the people that you're buying the hot dogs from.
Yeah. How
in depth you have to get with the people that are growing the vegetables or fruit that you're flying in. So yeah, $65,000, a lot of. I have no idea how that stacks up with other events that they have at the White House, but it wouldn't surprise me if you're catering something there and it costs a lot more than you think that it was. So, according to the people on 4chan, pizza and hot dogs are actually pedophile codes for young girls and young boys. So, in this email that's titled "Get Ready for Chicago Hot Dog Friday," they look at that and they say they are possibly flying in boys and girls for nefarious purposes.
Can I ask,
Mm-hmm.
and you might not have the answer to this question, given that I assume you don't subscribe to this theory,
Mm-hmm.
why a pizza place in D.C. if they were doing horrific things to children? Why at like a public business?
That's a good question.
Seems like they would have better places.
Seems like if you have the world at your fingertips, you probably have a warehouse.
Yeah.
If you're engaging in these types of illicit activities. I don't know.
Or an island.
Or an island. Yeah. Good point, Arian. Or your very own island that you could get to. But I think they wanted to tie the ping pong place with government because the ping pong owner was a fundraiser for the Democratic Party.
I see. Have you been to this place?
Comet Ping Pong? Never been there.
Do they have ping pong?
Is it?
I think they have ping pong in the back, from what I've read.
Might need to check. I love ping pong.
Yeah.
I went to a ping pong place in DC, but no children there. Fuck, I spaced. I forgot what I was gonna ask.
You ever go to like a high-end ping pong place?
Yeah,
I
but
always
so
said,
fire.
what was it called in New York? Spin?
Yeah.
I always said I was going to go there, and I never went.
I went there one time. I think I went there twice with Jeff
Amazing.
D-Lo. There are some really, really good players there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not at the level that you need to be to go there.
Yeah, there's some assholes. Yeah, go there with your friends and have a good time. There's always some asshole that brings his own paddle.
Yeah, it's a
No disrespect, but I mean,
it can be a social place. There were some people there that were playing just to have fun. It's like a giant place. You go down there and you're like, how does this exist in Manhattan? This place is huge.
the ones I went to is like you go and you order food and you order drinks and you have like a section and you don't even go you don't even go get your ball if somebody overhits it. There's this ball stacks and stacks of balls and you just continue and then somebody comes and sweeps them up. It's a fire idea.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I'm seeing that there's a spin here.
We got to go.
Yeah, I'll go.
We got to go for sure. So one of the main drivers of the original Pizzagate was Jack Posobiec. So Jack Posobiec, he was one of the guys that was also at the White House unveiling the new Epstein file release a couple weeks ago. But he was one of the main drivers behind it. He claimed he had a bunch of intel about it. He is a former naval intelligence. I don't know if he's an officer, former naval intelligence, though. But then right after the shooting at Comet Ping Pong, he backed off it real hard. He said in an interview with Philly magazine that Pizzagate's ridiculous, and he went there at one point in 2016 where he did an on-scene broadcast from Comet Ping Pong. So he went in and then went live on Periscope. You guys remember Periscope?
Oh yeah.
It used to be on Twitter, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes live. Yeah, Big D?
Do you remember Periscope was there was one that came out before it? Was it called like Prairie Dog or something? That was the first one.
Yeah, the pop-in.
It was basically just Periscope. I forget what it was called. The logo was like a prairie dog.
Yeah, what was that?
And then Twitter launched Periscope and just crushed them because it was like native within Twitter.
Yeah, they just did their own version of it. And then Periscope got shut down. But now you can go live again.
Right.
And didn't Twitter also, they bought Vine, right?
Yes.
And then closed it down?
Yeah.
It's fucked up. So, yeah, this guy, Jack Posobiec, went there. He went live, and he got kicked out because he was spreading lies about the place and saying that I'm in the Pizzagate place. We're checking it out. We're doing on-scene investigations. He didn't do anything in terms of like starting a disturbance in public there, but it drew a lot of eyeballs to it, and it started to trend on Twitter, and then Reddit closed down the Pizzagate subreddit because they were revealing a lot of private information about the people that were eating at Comet, people that were at nearby stores. They said, we don't want a witch hunt. And then people started calling the restaurant, getting 150 calls a day and hanging up. So Posobiec was involved in spreading a lot of that. And then he said, the way they paint me online, it's like I invented Pizzagate. No, I heard about it online. I thought it was stupid. I went there to show that it was just a restaurant. And you guys are idiots. I didn't have anything to do with these claims. They were stupid claims. And then Alex Jones later apologized for his role in hyping the conspiracy and the damage that it did. And then there was a victim impact statement from Comet Ping Pong after the shooting there that singled out Jones and Posobiec as agitators who were taking advantage of people. And they shortly thereafter walked back everything that they said. But recently, Elon's been on the case. So there should be an archive of Elon's deleted tweets, like things that he's posted that he's been like, he wakes up the next day, he's like, I was on a lot of ketamine. I got to get rid of that. So he's got...
Does he delete a lot of shit?
He does.
I didn't know that.
He does sometimes, yeah.
I have a question about him. What does ketamine like make you do or like act like? Like when he's on ketamine, like a lot of ketamine, like how is he behaving? Is it like Coke?
No, it's not. I think it's more of a sedative than Coke would be. So it brings you more like introspective than, but I don't know if it can, I've never tried ketamine. I don't plan on it. Mm-hmm. But it can put you into a K-hole if you take too much of it, which is where you just kind of sit there and you're paralyzed for a while.
So is it like intense Xanax?
It can cause hallucinations. It can cause, yeah. So it's like a Xanax in that it can.
Oh, I guess because it's like a tranquilizer, yeah.
Yeah, it can really mellow you out, but it can also make you hallucinate. Makes your eyes go weird. You can get dizzy. You can feel loopy. You can also just feel happy.
So he's just probably tweeting like funky. I mean, he always tweets funky stuff, but like extra funky.
So he posted a meme from The Office. I think he just thinks in memes now. I think his brain is just like a memes library. So he tweeted out a meme from The Office. It was the one, I think it was Jim pointing at like the whiteboard or the white paper, the poster. So he said that it seems Pizzagate seems a little suspicious because on the meme it said like Pizzagate is real. And there was another post where Musk linked to an Associated Press article published by NBC News about an ABC News journalist pleading guilty to federal child porn charges. And the allegation is that the ABC News journalist was the one who debunked Pizzagate, and then he got arrested for child porn. He was a journalist who wrote about Pizzagate at times, but he was not the primary debunker of it. From everything I've seen, there's just been a lot of stuff written about it where it's like, here's why this is bullshit. So then Musk he's a big reply guy, so he's been replying to a lot of Pizzagate posts. saying that journalists were part of the alleged operation to make Comet Ping Pong into this ground zero for child slavery, essentially. Seems like something that'd be pretty, like, if you log off for like 8 hours and do a cleanse, pretty easy for you to be like, yeah, that's probably all not true. But the more you read about it, the more you feel like you feel like Carrie Bradshaw. It turns everybody into, not Carrie Bradshaw. What's her name from Homeland? It's Claire Danes. What's her character's name?
Oh, I don't know.
Remarkably different shows.
Very different shows. Yes.
Carrie Matheson.
There you go. The longer you look at it, the more you feel like you're Carrie from Homeland and that you've got it all figured out.
For what it's worth, I looked up the pizza at Comic Ping Pong. It looks like it sucks.
Does it?
Unrelated.
What are the prices on there?
Not cheap. I mean, it's like a hipster restaurant in D.C., so.
It is. Everything in D.C. in that part is pretty expensive, though.
Good town, though. Love D.C.
Do you?
Yeah, I like the vibe about it.
I didn't think that you'd like D.C.
I do.
All the vampires?
Vampires?
Well, people in government.
Well, yeah, I didn't say I love the people there or what
Okay.
they're doing there, but I like the town.
All right. I like that. The one problem I have with D.C., as somebody that grew up very close and frequented numerous places in the city, the weather is not good. It's like the most humid city in America.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Shitty winter, still gets very hot.
And the heat isn't enjoyable. Like, some places have good heat.
Like where?
I think Chicago has beautiful summers. When it's hot here, it doesn't feel that hot.
Okay.
I would say Arizona. It's hot, but
When it's like 108 degrees?
yeah, that's bad. That's bad. But in DC, it's like the humidity sucks.
Although I have a friend who was from Arizona and went to UT, and he swears up and down, he's like, I would rather have it be 105 in Arizona than 92 in Knoxville.
I would say 105 in Arizona. Yes, I would take that over 92 in DC any day.
I mean, it's a swamp.
You step
So-
out of your car, out of your AC in DC, and you just start sweating within the first 2 steps that you take. It's
A lot
bad
of
heat.
walking in that town, too.
A lot of walking. Yeah. A lot of sightseeing. A lot of people that don't know where they're going. Takes forever to get anywhere.
The streets in that city it's a poorly designed place.
The French. You can blame the French for that.
Yeah, blame them for a lot of shit. Should we are we trying to send them back the statue?
Do you think that's real?
I think it's not like France has requested. It's one guy in France, one politician.
Yeah.
Who said like they want it back, but
He was trying to make a name for himself.
yeah.
Be like, okay, this will give me a nice little bump in the polls, and so he wants the statue back. I don't think that's logistically feasible.
I think it'd be funny if we did it.
You think so? You wouldn't miss her?
I just build another one. Who cares?
Just build a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna send it back. I think we said, who was it that said just send the plaque back of the poem? That's on it.
Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh said that. Yeah. No, we're not sending the Statue of Liberty back. That belongs to us. You can't do that, France. Sorry.
They have one, don't they?
Do they have a small one?
No, I think they have the same thing.
The actual big size statue?
They built one for them and one for us.
Really? Where is it?
I think it's in Paris.
There's one in Vegas. Is that the one?
They shipped to Vegas.
Statue of Liberty. Let's look it up. It was built in France, shipped overseas in crates. It's copper. That's why it's green right now. I guess it originally was orange, which I would like to see an orange version of it. There was an 1885 fundraising pamphlet, and the statue was most likely conceived for the first time in 1870. I don't think that there's one in Paris. I feel like I would have seen it. It's a pretty fucking big statue.
There's a replica of the Statue of Liberty in France. It's located on the Isle des Cygnes, Cygnes, however you pronounce that, a small island on the river Seine in Paris. This replica is about a quarter of the size of the original statue in New York. It was given to France by the French community in the United States in 1889 to celebrate the centennial of the French Revolution.
Okay. So like a little baby one.
Yeah, but there is another one.
I have a question for you, Big T. Is the Statue of Liberty hot?
I've never given it much thought. Let me take a closer look.
Is she modeled after an actual human being?
I don't think she's hot. I think she's majestic.
Yes.
I think she's beautiful, but not hot.
Yeah. Like you appreciate her. You appreciate her striking figure.
Right.
But you don't want to fuck it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the sculptor of the Statue of Liberty, Frederick August Bartholdi, was first inspired by the colossal figures guarding Nubian tombs for the Statue of Liberty, and then apparently modeled her face after his mother.
Okay, so that's why you can't really tell if she's supposed to be hot or not. Because he's like, I want to make her beautiful. Exactly. I want to
Yeah.
make her beautiful, but not hot.
Right. Can't make her too
Because
hot.
it's my mom.
Because then that's weird.
Yeah. All right.
But also, if the
fair
Statue
play.
of Liberty was a banger, like that would distract from her purpose.
Yeah, they'd be like, there's nothing behind the good looks.
Right.
They call her bimbo.
Yeah.
But as she stands right now, it's like, this is a strong woman.
Yeah.
Who's also beautiful. All right, good talk. Also, I want to prep people for next week on macrodosing because we're unveiling new segment, I believe on Monday. It's going to incorporate the lottery ball from the part of my take studio. We're going to play a game, and you can play at home too. You draw a number, and then you have 10 seconds to name an athlete who wore that jersey number. And I think it's going to be an incredible segment. And then we're going to compete. You play along with us. At some point, we'll put together a bracket and have a big tournament of people. But I'm very, very, very excited about that.
Shout out to Joe on Twitter who gave us the idea.
Shout out Joe on Twitter. What a legend. Also, Big T, I want to get your takeaway on some NFL news that happened today.
Mm-hmm.
The Green Bay Packers have officially submitted a rule change that would ban the tush push.
Saw that.
Your thoughts?
I think it's pussy shit.
Mm-hmm. Soft.
Like, you're allowed to do it too.
Yeah.
So stop it, or yeah, I'm not a fan.
It's all about Brazil. They had a bad showing against the tush push in Brazil.
Yeah.
So they're trying to change the entire league. I think that it's a football play and it should be allowed. However, the fact that the Packers took the stance on it, if it's passed, I will not weep for the demise of the tush push. I don't think it should be banned, but I'm not going to be upset if it is.
What is the one?
Because the Eagles are just so goddamn good at it.
What's the one advantage the offense has over the defense on every play?
The refs will do anything possible to make points get scored.
Okay, but more than that. Very simple.
They know when the ball's going to be snapped.
They know the play.
Yeah.
The defense does not. When Philadelphia lines up in that thing, they are telling you what the play is.
Mm-hmm.
You now know the play. So it should be much easier to stop it than a normal play where you don't know what's going to happen.
Agreed.
So you have just as much of an opportunity to stop it as they do to get it.
I also think that if you're on defense and what Frankie Louvu did in the playoffs and just keep jumping off sides and try to time the snap until you get it right, defense should be allowed to do that too. None of this bullshit of we're going to just award a touchdown.
I was really hoping that would happen.
That would make people so mad.
Yeah, we've decided to give them a touchdown.
Yeah, it would have been a great way for me to have something to use to cope with after that loss. Because we weren't going to win that game anyways. But if the refs gave you a touchdown, buddy, you just gave me 8 months worth of material.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that got submitted. And the Lions have also submitted a proposal to rank teams in the playoff based on their regular season records instead of division championships. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't mind that, but the schedules are different. So it's... Yeah, I don't think that's a big deal one way or the other.
Yeah, you could also have very competitive divisions where teams don't run away with it, but they have to play every team in that division twice, obviously, so that's hard. I don't like it. I like the idea of having a team that's like right at 500 host a playoff game and then winning.
Yeah.
I think that's chaos.
That's the NFC South special.
It is, yes. All right, anything else we want to get into today? We good? All right, we will see you guys next Tuesday for more nanodosing. Love you guys.